everybody. Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies' Garden and Home. And yes, it is almost Valentine's Day, and I do still have my Christmas decorations up. They keep me happy. So after I posted my last video, how to easily plan a vegetable garden, I got a message from one of my cousins who said, great job, whatever. They were really happy to see my grandfather in that video, and I'll link it so that you can watch it if you'd like. He said to me, you almost inspired me to start a garden. So it got me thinking that I should put together my list of what I think the best benefits for me have been to inspire others. Some of them are obvious, some of them not so obvious. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons of why I like to garden. Number 1, it lowers my grocery bills. I live on a very limited budget, and if I didn't grow food for my son and I would be either spending way more money on groceries, or I would be limited to processed junk food. So last year, it was actually a goal of mine to grow all of the food for my son and I, which of course didn't happen. But I learned so much about the different types of crops, and I did have some successes. So I'm going to try again this year. We'll see. So for example, this organic spring mix is currently $5.19 at the supermarket. This collection of lettuce seed is $1.62 a pack. We can have organic greens fresh from the garden almost all year long for years to come. We're not vegetarians, so the money that I saved on my budget from not having to buy produce really helped me buy more in bulk on my meat and dairy. Granted, I spent money at the startup, especially on soil and amending my beds and certain supplies. But as I get better at composting and as I get better at using natural things around the garden for amendments, those costs are going to considerably decrease. Number 2, you control your own food supply. Granted, not all of it. You are in control of one of the most important parts of your diet, the nutrient-rich fruits and vegetables. You know, I've mentioned this before, but at the beginning of the pandemic, there were a lot of vegetables that I couldn't find at the grocery store. And now I'm starting to see the same thing because of the supply chain issues. The thing that was a real turning point for me was when I couldn't find celery. And at that point, I decided I was never going to be in that situation again. Some people live in agricultural areas that have plenty of farms, plenty of farm stands, plenty of people who grow local produce. I live in a city that is a suburb of Manhattan where property and taxes are some of the highest in the nation. There are practically no farms in my county, and very, very few people have their own backyard gardens. I have a very small plot of land, but I feel like since I moved here in 2019, I've been able to maximize our space. I've added beds, I've added vertical gardening. Now I can grow a good amount of food with a little extra for friends and family. Benefit number 3, health benefits. The vegetables and fruits that you grow will be more nutrient dense than anything that you can buy at a supermarket. They'll contain more vitamins, more minerals, more antioxidants. So by the time you get it from the farm, wherever that is, to a truck, if there's a driver, across the food miles to the grocery store where it sits on the shelf until you buy it, and then you bring it home and put it in your refrigerator till whenever you eat it, it's lost a lot of the nutritional benefits. Plus you have the opportunity to grow even more varieties that are even more nutrient dense. Superfoods like kale, spinach, beets, foods with immune boosting properties like garlic, ginger, echinacea. You do actually eat more vegetables when you grow them. That's because they're your babies. You don't throw them out, you don't waste them. You find nutritious ways to preserve them, like fermenting, which is very good for gut health. Let's not forget the benefits of the sun and fresh air. So many health benefits to spending time outside. But unfortunately, we don't get outside nearly as much as we should. From our jobs where we may be in front of a computer screen, to sitting in a car in traffic, to coming home and eating dinner and then watching TV. We have a lot of things that keep us from being outside. The sun helps you regulate the natural circadian rhythms that control our sleep patterns by regulating melatonin. That helps you sleep, and sleep is the most important restorative. It provides vitamin D. Adequate vitamin D levels are extremely important for strengthening us against COVID and many other diseases. It also helps strengthen our bones by helping us absorb calcium and prevents thin, brittle bones. Besides the sun's benefits, gardening is great because it gets you outside and exercising. It builds strength, keeps you limber and active. Number 4, just as important to physical health, it also improves mental health. Research has found that bacteria in the soil triggers the release of serotonin, a natural antidepressant that also boosts the immune system. It also causes the release of dopamine, which boosts your mood and makes you feel good. Gardening has made me patient. You have to be. You sow something, you wait. You transplant it, you wait. You water it, you wait. You tend to it, you wait. Finally, there's a payoff maybe months down the road where you harvest. And sometimes that harvest is disappointing. There are really times when I don't want to get out there in 90 degrees humidity and water for an hour. But I know that in order to get that payoff, I have to do that. So whether that's discipline or perseverance, between that and patience, I think that those things have made me a better mom, a better pet mom, a better daughter, a better sister, a better business person. Number 5, it's brought me closer to God. It's grounded me. Whatever you want to call it, whether it's being more in tune with the natural world or being a better steward of the earth as we're called to do, you appreciate the process, the cycle of life, understanding the connections between pollinators and the plants, the difference between beneficial insects and pests, and the natural ways to control them or attract them. You learn the balance of life in a garden. Last year I had a problem with aphids on some of my fava beans. I looked up what were some natural ways to combat aphids. And the number one answer that kept coming up was ladybugs. Ladybugs eat aphids. I hadn't seen any ladybugs in the garden yet. It was kind of early in the spring. And so I was thinking about ordering some ladybugs to release into the garden, which I didn't really want to spend any money on. Well, I took a break and I went outside and I noticed that all over these beans were ladybug larvae, which I could recognize because I was just about to order them. That one little experience brought me so much joy because I realized this was really one of God's miracles. Not to me, but to the whole earth. He really did figure out everything that we need and gives it to us freely. Those little baby larva ladybugs made me a much more grateful person. And being a grateful person leads you to a more mindful life. And I feel like in my own little way, in my own little garden, in my own little home, I'm doing more today to be a good steward of the earth. And here's a bonus benefit for those of you who are parents. If you have young children, bring them out in the garden with you. You'll get them away from their games, away from their TVs, away from social media, and outside with all the health and mental benefits, as well as side by side with you. Teach them how to identify plants. Teach them the beauty of the circle from seed to harvest. Teach them how to grow their own food so that they have that skill for their lifetime. So to all the cousins out there who are almost inspired, or to the single moms who think that they don't have enough time, but they could certainly use the help on the budget side. And to those of you like me who have the aches and pains of getting older and don't think that physically you could do it, from the cost savings, the ability to control your own food supply, to the physical health benefits, to the mental health benefits, and the benefit of becoming a better steward of the earth, plus bringing your children along and giving them the same kind of benefits as well. I hope you decide to grow a little garden. Now, if you have benefits that I didn't touch on that has made an impact on you as a gardener, please feel free to put them in the comments and share them with the community. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a like. And I hope you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be coming out with a bunch of new videos from the Ladies Garden and Home. Thanking you for stopping by. Wishing you a great gardening journey. Bye. Say goodbye, lady. Lady. Oh, she's out.